My people were biologically determined for one purpose alone, to sense the coming of damn fine podcasts. I sense it coming now.
All right. Hello, and welcome to a Discovery Home Companion. So yeah, we're talking about this latest episode of Discovery that we watched last Sunday. What this was the Latin title one? Vis Pecum Parabellum.
Yeah.
Vis and Butthead.
Better title. All right. Yeah. So we've sat with a week, and now we're gonna listen to a couple of calls. That's a good format we've fallen into. Listen to 2 calls, and we'll talk about stuff. Hey, how about that? Work for me?
Sounds fun.
My name is Wade Bowen, and with me is James Nolan.
Hey, guys.
And Hugh Crawford.
Greetings.
Good day, sir. Yes, and now we're talking about Vis and Butthead.
That's so stupid. Yes,
right?
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
I don't really know if I have any additional takes to have now that I sat with it during...
Well, do we have voicemails?
Yeah. But if anybody had anything they want to get off their chest. No?
I haven't thought about this episode.
I mean, I have a couple of things that we didn't bring up, but I don't know. I don't want to steal that from if a caller brings it up.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I'll just go into it then. First off, let's see. We've got a nice little message here from our good friend in Toronto, Kristin from Toronto.
Very good.
Hey guys, this is Kristin from Toronto, calling in about this past week's episode of Star Trek Discovery. One minor bone to pick with you, Hugh, before I get really started. Star Trek Discovery, unlike the other Star Treks, is filmed in Toronto, so the away missions take place in places on the outskirts of Toronto, not in the outskirts of LA in Southern California. Just clearing that one up. But anyway, I have figured out what is wrong with this show, in case you guys are interested. Every Star Trek series has a thesis, which is made apparent within the first couple of episodes, or very explicit in the first episode in the case of Next Generation. And I'm going to tell you what all of them are. Starting with the original series. The original series is about the American colonial project. It's about spreading values of tolerance and freedom and justice into a wider community. As problematic as those ideas are, that's what it's about. Next Generation is about multiculturalism. It's about learning to live with and work through difference for mutual understanding. Deep Space Nine and Voyager are both about maintaining your values, your ethical stance, your personhood, and your selfhood in the face of difficult circumstances. And Enterprise is about humanity evolving away from barbarism and xenophobia towards a better, more enlightened perspective. That doesn't make any of them a good show inherently. That doesn't make them good shows, but it gives them an internal coherence, which is just not there in Discovery. Discovery doesn't seem to have a thesis. I don't know what it's about, and it's been 9 episodes, and I don't know what the core of their story is. Is this going to be a story about broken people finding connection with each other? Because there's elements of that with Burnham and with Stamets, with his, psychedelic personality changes. Is this going to be a story about a culture healing from a really destructive war? I don't know. I don't think Discovery knows. And maybe that's because we're not at the end yet, and I've, seen all of Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and the other ones. I've seen all of them. So you can look back and create a story that you might not see the first time around. But I really feel like they didn't spend enough time figuring out what they were doing before they started doing it, which is why, in spite of the pretty good execution, apart from some writing issues, the good execution of these episodes, it feels kind of like nothing, So, yeah, maybe there's something that's going to come clear. I don't know. Overall, this last episode kind of felt like a warmed over episode of Enterprise. I felt like quite a lot of it could have worked in that context. It was all right. I'm glad they finally got an away mission, because it was really weird how they haven't had any yet. And Yeah, so rerunning that was pretty bad, but the blue leaves were pretty. I agree. Okay, well, that's all I got
all
for
around.
now, guys.
We all agree. Blue leaves. Blue leaves.
Blue leaves matter.
Blue leaves for the win.
I stand corrected about it being Southern California. Thank you for the correction. I did not know the show was actually filmed in Toronto.
Oh yeah,
They got them tax incentives.
Did you know that, Wade?
yeah, right. That Vulcan scenes were like filmed outside like a museum at somewhere in there too.
Well, I noticed that those woods did look a lot like X-Files woods.
Yep.
Now that I think about it. And that was all that's all filmed in Toronto as well, right?
Yeah,
Or Vancouver.
Vancouver, but yeah.
Yeah.
Same country, same.
Right.
And I think what is it called? Meridian? I don't know. What same line on the globe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As far as the theme goes, I think yes.
She's spot on there. Yeah.
Yeah, and that.
Yeah, I think of what we've said from the beginning. The show doesn't have a thesis. It's about driving subscriptions to CBS All Access. That's the theme of the show.
I've always held that Star Trek is always a story about Starfleet, and you get that through the characters that you do, and that's. I think at the times that I get the most angriest about while watching the show is when I'm trying to squeeze it into that mold.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't want it to act. But I don't want it to act like it's breaking the mold by like it's different and stylistically different. It's not. It's just about people shooting laser blasters.
Right.
I don't know. Like it's a space adventure. It doesn't have a thesis, so it's not like it's breaking a mold with a bigger story.
Well, I thought you had a great point. Maybe it was on the text or anything about just like the militaristic lesson, that how like kind of Reagan-esque this show kind of is when you get down to it.
Yeah, no, I mean it's really merely one of the things that I did partially. Now I've started this habit of like showing the episode to my wife in like and then wait for this, look at this sort of tone. But one of the things I noticed is when they're on the away mission, Saru, who's leading point, has like a space M16 strapped to him, like soldiers do in like war movies now, and like that. That's not in any way ever Star Trek in any way. The only reason they do that is so that he looks more militaristic to us, because it would be weird that they're not walking around without an M16 strapped to him, because that's what everything is these days. And so, and it's just like, it's these little signifiers. You might not even notice it, but these ways that they're making the show just generic space marines fighting.
Right. Well, yeah, and it's
space
instead
monsters.
of trying to they give all this lip service about it's about coming to understanding and stuff, but they're like, well, there's so much the ends justify the means kind of thinking on the show, which is kind of like Star Trek is.
Yeah, their defense is that they're at war. They're trying to win a war.
Right. But, you watched like Ben Sisko and Deep Space Nine being like, you know what, if it means that we have to die so that these, then that's what we have to do to preserve our principles. And that doesn't feel like the show is not interested in doing that kind of thing.
And I'm not saying that like that. I mean, there's times where they got the little phaser rifles, like in Deep, where they go down and have the phaser rifles.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not saying that they don't have weapons, but I'm just like the idea that in an away mission, you got a guy running point with like an M16. It's weird. It's not that that you put that in there to code it to look like soldiers. And they have these really they have body armor on.
Yeah.
Which, they've never worn that before. And so,
yeah, I think like in the cage, maybe they have like a way they've got like suits to go on excursions with or something. But yeah, nothing like that we have.
It's not like they're not dressed like the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, right.
They're on there like so. Yeah, so that's the thing that like just. And then I think that when they do have points, I know a lot of people commented, and we didn't comment in our podcast about him butchering the Spock's line from Wrath of Khan.
Everybody got mad. But I saw that's not from Wrath of Khan. That's not Spock's line from Wrath of Khan. That's Kirk's line from Search for Spock, right?
No, No, Spock says
in the next movie.
Spock says that.
I know he says that. I know he's but in the next movie he flips it and does the reverse when he's the needs of the.
Oh.
There's in the next Star Trek movie.
Oh.
Kirk, because when it's one of the odd ones that are the bad ones or whatever, he says, "No, the needs of the one outweigh that." He inverses it, but nobody remembers that because it was dumb.
Yeah, and so does Clem Fandango.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't.
But yeah, again, it's dumb.
Yeah, I don't. That bothers me too, and then it bothers me too.
But she's right. The show's got no thesis.
No.
Yeah,
And it feels rudderless as a result.
yeah,
And they're clearly building. I mean, it's all built to one. Like, I mean, I think that, like, hearing the way they're talking about this upcoming episode, it's all just built to this reveal that we probably all know. And it's, I don't know, like, everything is built towards that. That's going to be the thesis. And everybody's just.
right. Well,
And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just unsatisfying. What more can you say at this point?
You got any other? Who else we got on the docket today?
I don't know what I can say, but we'll move on to what this next call can say. It's it ain't heavy. He's my brother.
Hey, it's Lane again. Just wanted to check in on Discovery Home Companion and comment on the last episode, mostly to say, well, you guys aren't wrong, but you're not exactly right either. I mean, you're really quick to be certain that the show has flubbed it when I really don't see it quite as one way or the other. Now, to be fair, they're not doing a great job, but at this point, it's not clear, say, if Cornwall's dead or if Klingon lady, the only one apparently, well, no, there's one other Klingon extra lady, but is telling the truth or making stuff up. At this point, we're kind of in a Schrodinger's cat box situation of shows. The problem is, either way, they're kind of flubbing it, so the cat's not going to be a really great cat whenever the box opens. It might be dead, and it might just be like mangy and hairless and, bite the shit out of you. So, but we don't know if it's dead or alive at this point. It's a little premature to say. We haven't opened the damn box to know if they actually have any idea what they're doing, or if they're just they're really bad at being ambiguous and to the point where it looks like they have no clue what they're doing. And at this point, there's a good chance that's the case, but we don't know yet. So anyway, I'm still entertained enough to keep watching just because I want to know what happens when they open that box. If the cat is like rotting for, weeks, or if it's on its last legs, or maybe there's still a chance that's going to be the most beautiful cat that's still alive when they open that damn box. I don't really hold much hope for that, but dead or alive, maybe 50-50. But yeah, dead or barely alive, good chance. Anyway, we'll see. And again, still interested enough to keep watching. And particularly, I like Stamets' plotline. That one, I thought they've done a good job as far as the mystery on that one, as opposed to everything else on the show. But that's just me. All right, it's probably got cut off. Either way, later.
He thinks that we got it wrong because we're stating that they're unclear on their storytelling?
No.
Because that's what he seems to
I
admit.
think that I definitively said that she's dead.
Right, we all kind of said that she's. And his point is,
I didn't think
You didn't.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, you and I both were like, she's clearly dead, and he's right. It's not.
I did not think she was, or I couldn't tell.
Okay, so
one way or the other.
What about what in the text, in like the film text? What in the text made you think she could still be alive?
There's no blood when she drags her away.
Yeah.
Like
She whispered to her like she was still alive, like she could hear. Like, well, you don't whisper to a corpse.
After she slammed her into the electric socket or whatever.
Yeah. Also, this thing is trying to take us. I am also aware of the fact that they're trying to take us through a bunch of twists and turns and bullshit along the way too.
Yeah, right.
And anytime you have twists and turns and bullshit, when you don't definitively close a door in your narrative, like saying we ate her, okay, right?
Yeah.
So then I know Michelle's Yao's not coming back, or that that universe, Michelle Yeoh's not coming back because she's been eaten.
Yeah.
That door's been closed. When you don't definitively close doors, and the show has been relentlessly marketed as having twists and turns, nothing's for sure yet.
Yeah, like the way the language of film or whatever, like when you grab a body by the feet and drag it off, I expected to be a trail of blood behind her. They didn't have that. Whatever. Mm-hmm. And then she drags her into the cadaver room, and you never see her throw the body on the pile or anything. Like Lane's whole point is the Schrodinger's box metaphor. I think he's extending to the show even past. He's starting with whether Cornball's dead, mm-hmm. and then also the show itself. We don't know how bad it's going to suck or not. And part of it is that he'll admit that they're kind of flubbing a lot of how they're doing it. Like Laurel drags Cornball into the room, but you never see this. You never see that scene end. She just looks at her friends and says, "Oh, they're dead. I'm going to get revenge." And you never see what she does with Cornball's body. Next thing you know,
the show got distracted. It got distracted.
Yeah, Cole is berating her for letting the prisoner escape.
No, he meant.
And then it's like, well, she didn't escape. She didn't escape. She got murdered in the hallway. And then,
he meant that she got escaped from the room.
I know that's what it is, but it was still. It was that you could have made every.
Well, she gets busted for lying at the end.
Yeah, and you don't know
what did she lie about?
Exactly.
If
I don't know.
She knew about the spore drive from the first Clem Fandango episode.
Yeah, but we don't know that that's what he's upset about.
And she's waiting that.
Is that what Cole told?
She could be alive.
Wait, hold on.
Jesus,
what I'm saying is
this is the dumbest fucking show
I've
ever seen in my fucking life. And three grown-ass men are arguing about what the fuck might have happened. This is a frustrating bullshit. I can't stand this episode.
I never advocated for the Klingon plot. Just let me put that out there.
I got you activating my bronchitis here.
Sorry.
We're all talking about might have been what might have. That's some shitty storytelling.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the height of shitty.
So you're saying that Cole is mad at her for lying about the spore drive?
I don't know. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know. It's all fucking nonsense, but here's a shot. Okay, so he says that she escaped. That's because, when he walked up on her in the hallway,
yeah,
she was walking out with Jane Brooks.
Yeah.
And then she looks at Jane Brooks and then kills her? I don't know. Okay, and then drags her back to the body room.
Right, that's... Yeah.
Then gets distracted. And then they go
and
back.
the whole scene, the show got distracted and says, "Oh, what were we doing? Oh, I forgot."
Squirrel. No, okay. So then she looks at the.
They got to keep down to that 42-minute runtime. Wait.
Yes, exactly.
No, I don't.
She says to the dead bodies that she's going to get revenge. That she's going to extract her complicated plan. Then the next scene is her going to Cole and saying that. Before she killed her, she extracted information because she wants a cloak to.
Yeah.
I think it's to try and to ingratiate herself to Cole.
Right.
So she tells him the spore drive, which is information she got episodes ago. So she sells him on that, and he paints her face, which I don't know why he paints her face. And then
that's some dumb House of Core shit that they made up for this series.
Well, why would you paint her face if you're just going to throw her in prison? Why do you trick her? That extra minute of tricking her, it just feels so damn owning her extra minute.
To be fair, he does not come from a trickery house, so he's kind of new at the trickery shit, okay?
I guess. So they paint her face, and she and then they arrest her, and then he goes, "You're lying to me." I assume that he's saying that he had a Nest Cam in the body room or in the torture room.
Yes.
And was watching it on his phone that she was really planning a getaway.
Okay.
Of course I'm reading into it because there's not a lot there.
Right. There's not a lot to go on.
We're connecting dots with no numbers here. So, I mean,
yeah.
That was what I felt the story was saying in real time. And I've watched it again, and I'm less certain about anything in my life after watching it a second time. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm waiting for them to open that box too. Like, this is...
Has that ever... But that's what I don't get with you guys. Like, the ending is never... The destination never justifies the journey if the journey's fucking confusing shit, right?
It could if it makes sense. If it ends up making sense, then it's not so bad.
But that's the thing, is that I've seen satisfying narratives before. They never, like, during a satisfying narrative, I'm never like, what the fuck is going on for like half of it. I've never been satisfied by a TV show or a movie, but the whole time been going like, but maybe other stuff could have happened.
I was not watching Fight Club. You're not confused. You're not confused through the whole movie of Fight Club,
right?
And then the ending, and you're like, what? Oh, it all makes sense. No,
I'll admit that the Star Trek Discovery is not quite Primer.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So it needs something.
I mean, I think the point is, like, it could be, if it's a fumbly kind of unbalanced way of telling the story, but ultimately the story makes sense. I think that's like, okay, well, I'm annoyed about how wobbly everything was, but at least in the end it made sense. It's just somewhere to go. It's a hope, as wobbly as it is, that it can actually maybe stick some kind of landing. And until we have that landing, we can't say they haven't stuck the landing.
To quote Kira, Hugh, those without faith can't understand, and those with faith need no explanation.
But also,
all right.
To quote James, I think faith without works is dead.
Yes, that's true. Okay, so I mean, we're all like, is any one of us not 100% on Ashfaq theory?
No, you ask this every time we push the button record. You ask that.
I know. But I guess my point is that we know what the reveal is.
Yeah.
So you can finish somewhat of the puzzle.
That puzzle, yeah.
You can skip ahead a little bit.
No, I think the three of us were pretty firm Team Ashfaq.
And I assume that they're going to display it this week, or, in Sunday's episode. It's going to be, he's Ashfaq. And it seems like they said enough to say that she's going to kill him or come to some sort of reckoning point with him by episode 12.
The continuing mystery story will be, well, they'll be stuck in the mirror universe. My prediction at the end of this episode, they're getting the mirror universe, because
you get so much hope. The mirror universe, everybody's expecting the mirror universe to save shit.
Oh, I'm not expecting it to save shit at all, but I can say pretty definitively that they're going to go there because we know for a fact that's locked in. And also they've revealed the title, and which I don't remember, and the plot summary for the first episode after the hiatus, and they're lost in unfamiliar territory.
Now, the hiatus, can we cancel our CBS All Access subscription for 2 months?
We just talked about it. They made it to where it's just 1 month you can cancel it. I looked at it because it starts back up on the 7th. So if you're canceling it on the 12th or 13th, you're probably still just going to be off of free for 1 month. Which is $6. You can go buy yourself a Big Mac combo with that. So, so you get something that satisfies you. But
I guess if I gave CISO my $4 a month for
right.
8 months and I only watched a month of it, I guess I can do that for CBS All Access.
Yeah,
they're not fucking charity. I guess the principles of it should bother me more than.
You could watch all the good fight that you want.
Oh my God! What if I got to be a good wife, good fight expert over the next month?
Also, I don't know if you watched John Oliver last week, but they did a whole segment on a show that I didn't know about on CBS that the post office pays for.
Oh God!
That's like a CSI for postal inspectors. It's a kids show.
Yeah, it's a Saturday morning,
and all 60 episodes of that are on the app, buddy.
What?
Are they really?
Are you joking?
Yeah, the inspector.
Oh, I wasn't sure they were.
No, it's called The Inspectors. Me and my wife looked it up.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No, postal stuff I'm all about. So I will be checking that out.
I think it has, don't quote me on this, but I think it has the Anthony Michael Hall lookalike that was in the premiere of
the Admiral.
Yes. The Admiral, yes. I think he's the lead in it. But I'm just going to go all out. I think next week, clearly Ashfaq is let go. I'm going to guess that Vok kills Cole and steals the sarcophagus ship with Burnham on it. And possibly they get stuck in the mirror universe. The rest of Discovery gets stuck in the mirror universe. So we have Burnham on the ship. And if Cornball is alive, my whole theory is that she will save Cornball, and they'll it'll be like the girl ship, Cornball, Burnham, and Laurel.
Well, if that's the case, then your theory that Lorca is out as captain because she wants to.
My theory is that Lorca's the final boss of the season. Ash Vok is like mini boss, Lorca's like final boss, and then Burnham proves herself to Cornball to get reinstated and possibly even her own captain's chair, making it essentially the captain's arc from the first Alex Kurtzman Star Trek thing.
Okay. But Saru would have to be, like, how does she get to be captain with Saru in the picture?
He makes a grand sacrifice.
Yeah, he makes a grand...
Another question. Is there a possibility that Ash Vok is revealed next week?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Michael Burnham... And Michael Burnham is convinced that he will be a good Klingon and is just cool about it and lets him be a Klingon in disguise because she believes in her heart that...
no, I think that I think Clem Fandango talked about how episode 12 is his big emotional power. It's the most emotional work that he's ever done, and it comes to a big head.
Well, he's done this and Clem Fandango, so I fully believe that it will be his most emotional work.
I have my own predictions that don't match up with anything that you just...
Let's hear him.
I mean, it's... Yeah, one, I would love if Burnham gets stuck on the Klingon ship, but I don't think she will. I think somehow they get on the Discovery, they get away from the Klingons, whether or not the sarcophagus ship explodes. They end up in the mirror universe at the end of it, and then they're stuck. And at least one episode, some people have posited that the whole second half arc is just them doing Voyager and trying to get out of the mirror universe and back home. I don't know about that because they've been on this episodic kick, but who knows? But my theory with Ash Vok, is that...
Wait a minute. Are you saying that there's a chance that the last 6 episodes of the show...
There's a chance.
...take place exclusively in the mirror universe?
Some people...
That sounds like a waking nightmare for me.
Yeah, some people have said that.
That sounds like everything I hate about this show.
I've seen people make that claim on Twitter, I think, and I was like, I don't think they're going to do that because I think they'll get out of it in 1 episode, maybe 2. Because the show's not as serialized as I keep talking about it. But my theory for the Ash Vok arc is not that he dies in episode 12, because he said he had 15 hours to build this character. He's credited on. My theory is that it's his big moment is when he decides to be a good guy, and it's all because the show is about people coming together and their differences, and I think he maybe learns that he actually does love Michael Burnham.
Oh my God.
And that they do something with that, and it could be...
No, I don't know.
I don't think I'm going to like it.
Then what's the point of setting him up as this ridiculously strong-willed person? And Clip Fandango is not like strong-willed, but Vok is like he held his hand under the flame and did all this shit, and he refused to like touch like infidel hard drives or whatever.
Because once it's the same way that every Republican is against gay marriage until their son comes out. Or once you know gay people, or once you interact with the other enough.
You think it's an arc? Because in other words, Wade, you said at the beginning he starts out this way, and then at the end he ends up this way. He goes on a character journey.
He learns to embrace. Yeah, exactly. He hates the other. He doesn't want to be Federation, but he doesn't interact with the Federation. But by being immersed in that culture, he learns. Because he learns that that they're people and that hate. He learns how to deal with the other or something. I'm not saying it's going to be well done, but I could see that being the journey they take him through. And then by the end of it, they can have him on season 2 as the transhuman Klingon who gets to crack wise. And
So that's what I'm saying.
Klingon
That's what I was wondering, if he like gets to stay on as a like a member or whatever, because they decide that they're cool about it. Like, we'll be cool about it
because Latif, what's his name? Latif
Shazad Latif.
Because he's like a hunk for the show and like a ratings getter.
Oh, I don't know if that's the case, or I don't know if that's...
Who knows?
I mean, that's something, but...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't... In my theory, you're blowing your 2 male leads. I get that, like, the gay guy and the man whose his face is made out of liver can't be the only 2 guys that make it onto the next season. There's got to be, you know...
And Lieutenant McDreamy from the bridge, you're getting you're getting a title credit.
Yeah, he could be getting a promotion.
Yeah.
Or they'll just bring in a new guy.
Yeah. The Stamets story is the most like, of all the mysteries that they have on the show, it's way more interesting than the Vox stuff. But I'm sure they'll find ways to fuck it up. Sure.
Yeah, but you just laid out a path where that storyline gets me 6 weeks of Mirror Universe.
Yeah. I don't think it'll. I don't think
talking about Terrans and shit.
My God.
I don't believe that there'll be 6 weeks of Mirror Universe, because I don't think they can.
Oh my God, Hugh! Doesn't it? Or Hugh? Can you just imagine how depressed you're going to be?
Oh yeah. Oh
2,
right.
3 weeks.
I forgot how much I'll hate the Mirror Universe.
I was really upset whenever the Mirror Universe was going to be in here to begin with. So the fact that they might spend more than 1 episode in the Mirror Universe really bums me out. I was just hoping that if the Mirror Universe was going to come into play, what would happen would be that somebody comes over from the Mirror Universe,
right? And
they don't actually have to go there themselves. But
like bitchy Mirror Tilly, you know, could probably be fun
with her eye patch and gray hair.
Yeah, with her eye patch and gray hair. Well, that's from the future. That's if he's going to the future. Here's the thing: like, I don't know if he's going there. Everybody always says that, like, Ash doesn't act like a Klingon, so they don't believe that he is a Klingon.
Right.
Oh, I think...
Well, Paul Stamets isn't acting like he's going to these other realities and experiencing life on the other side of anything. He just looks confused.
He's not living his whole...
Like he's getting, like, mentally drained or something. Or, like, there's, like, the whole thing is like it's sucking out his essence. He's acting stoned. He's not acting like...
Right, well...
He's having these experiences on the other side.
He's not having them. He's just remembering them. And he's tripping balls and remembering things that didn't happen, and so it takes a lot out of you. I mean, that's a different thing than him being a fake Klingon and knowing stuff.
We should probably wrap up the voicemails, because we still have...
Yeah, we probably should. We'd like to hear from you.
Yep.
So give us a call at 917-408-3898. And you can let us know you're calling for Discovery Home Companion, and we will gladly listen to what you have to say and use you on the podcast.
Yeah, I will challenge, if at all possible, like, there is 2 like ardent defenders on the Discord, Willow and JR, defenders of Discovery, and I feel that, like, I don't want to drown out their voices with negativity. If you want to call in, guys, if you're comfortable, call in, because I'm interested in hearing like for the people who aren't on the Discord, I think we should have someone defending the show other than Wade's tired of defending the show.
I'm exhausted, you guys.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're up to it, I'm not trying to call you out, but if
Classic
you're up to
James, big fan of both sidesisms.
Right.
I'm a fan of both sidesisms, so we need to. I want to represent every side of this, because it allows me to be more negative.
Oh, good.
Not directed at you, but if it's both sides, then I can go further. No, but if that's something, like, if you like the show, anybody, if you like the show, give us a call. Like,
I'll probably take your side.
We need to.
James will.
Yeah, Wade's here to take your side. I'm listening to everything. I'm here to hear more positivity. So.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Send us an email at rulesofacquisitionpodcast@gmail.com. That's our other podcast. You can check out Rules of Acquisition. But you can send us a voice message there that way if you want. Just try and keep it under 3 minutes. Rate and do all the iTunes stuff. Follow us on Acquisition Pod on Twitter. You know the whole spiel. Do all the things that everybody asks you to do. But, help us out.
All right.
Oh, and also James mentioned that Discord server that we have. You can check that out by becoming a patron on our Patreon at patreon.com/kickersofelves, which we have a lot more on there other than just access to the Discord server. We've got links and voice and more audio content and everything. So yeah, check it out.
That's right. Okay, well, thanks for listening to A Discovery Home Companion. We hope that you join us next week for more Star Trek Discovery talk. For Wade, James, and myself, Hugh, 3 to beam out.
Subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher or Caster or Fuckcast or Podsucker. Review us on iTunes. Also grab a bit of fame for yourself by calling us at 917-408-3898 and leaving us a message. We play that shit on air. Or email us at rulesofacquisitionpodcast@gmail.com. Also, listen to our Deep Space Nine podcast, Rules of Acquisition. It is pretty amazing, but you may not yet be ready for its awesome amazingness. Assess your personal awesomeness appropriately.